everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Farida. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate you guys. As you can already tell from the title of today's video, I'll be talking about how I self-funded my tuition fees in the UK. Previously I did a video about the cost of studying in the UK, like the cost of tuition fees and whether you can actually pay for it by working part-time. And I remember someone said a man should talk about this, like let's see what a man will say, like as if a man can also like do it easily. But anyways, I'm talking about how I self-funded my tuition fees in the UK, how easy or how difficult it was, and I hope you gain one or two things from it. Before I start about how I self-funded my tuition fees, I'm just gonna do like a quick backstory about why I came to the UK and how I came to the UK. So if you're Nigerian, you know that like for you to go to university in Nigeria, you need to do the UTME, like Unified Tertiary Matriculations Examination, organized by JAM, and you have to do that and like get a particular pass mark to do the post UTME. When I did mine in 2016, I got 178, and I remember before I finished the exam, before I finished the CBT test, the computer went off like 10 times, and that was like crazy. Like when I got home, like after the exam, I was not even like really hopeful that I would get a high mark, and lo and behold, a lot of people at my school failed JAM that year, and it was really bad. And so because of that, I thought, okay, what was I gonna do next? So my parents enrolled me to do A-levels in Ibadan, and if you're Nigerian, you know where Ibadan is, obvious. And I did A-levels in EAC, Educational Advancement Center. And while I was in my A-levels, I was also preparing to do JAMB again. And when I did JAMB again, I got 298 or 289, which was really good. And I actually thought, okay, now that I'm doing A-levels will allow me to go into second year at Nigerian university. Why not see if I can go abroad? And before I finished secondary school, I always thought I wanted to go abroad to study. And my dream university was Edinburgh University. And if you've considered going to Edinburgh University, you know that it's a very expensive one. And it was like £19,000. And I'm like, okay, there's no way we'll be able to afford that. Like, stop dreaming and be realistic. That was when I realized and checked online about like universities in the UK that I could go to, and I applied on UCAS to the University of East London, University of Manchester, University of Liverpool, and two other, University of Westminster, and one more university. So I applied to 5 universities. So initially I thought I could not apply to the universities directly, and that was where I made a mistake. I had to pay an application fee, and luckily one of my friends' mom paid for my application fee because we didn't have like a domiciliary account to pay. Also, I think we needed to pay in either dollars or pounds, and so our mom paid my application fee because the deadline was like literally the day I was finishing my application. And so she paid the application fee, and then my mom sent naira to her, which was like really good. And so that was where the journey started. And then after I paid the application fee, I did post UTME, applied to Unilorin, until today Unilorin has not offered me admission. So imagine I was waiting on Unilorin to offer me admission. This is what I will still be waiting, or maybe I would have done another JAMB like over the years. But it's like the system in Nigeria just like fails you. It makes you feel like you're not good enough, or like you can't really achieve things, and it just frustrates you really. And like with 178, from 178 to like 298 or 289 to doing post UTME and getting a good mark, still no admission. And I was like, I wasn't gonna beg anyone. But anyways, long story short, I applied to the University of East London. I got a place. And because of money issues, I had to defer my start dates from 2017 to 2018. When I initially got an offer in 2017, I had to pay a deposit of £4,000. I also got a scholarship of £3,000, which I lost because I didn't start that year because we couldn't raise all of the money. We've already been thinking about studying in the UK. You know that you have to have a maintenance amount of £11,385, and we didn't have that money because it's a lot of money. And unless you're like super rich, you can easily like just go to your bank account and like show that you have £11,385. But anyways, we were trying to get a loan. Like we got a loan, we asked family members and friends, but we didn't get any help really from them. So because of that, I had to like defer to 2018, and within that 1 year we're able to like we were able to raise the money to apply for the visa. We were able to like raise the tuition fees. And one thing I actually did that I felt that was really helpful was that I kept the £4,000 with the university. So if, for example, you're also in a situation where you have to like defer your start date, I would definitely advise you not to take your money back from the university. Don't ask for a refund. Keep the money with them so that you know that you actually committed to doing that. Because, for example, if I had asked for a refund and collected my money back, maybe I would have had to like do JAMB again and go like and done the post UTME, and I would be in the Nigerian university now trying to finish a law degree that takes 5 years. the system here works better, basically. Anyways, before I started my first year in 2018, I already like paid the £4,000 deposit. I lost the scholarship, but when I reapplied in 2018, I got £2,000. So that was 4,000 plus £2,000, which was £6,000. And then before September of 2018, I already paid all of the tuition fees for first year, which was really good. And the only thing that we had to show was the maintenance amount of 11,385, and so that was like super easy, and I got my visa. And so for me, first year of university was already fully paid before I started, which was a good relief, because imagine only having paid like £6,000 and then having to like work like a crazy person to like pay the rest of the money. It would have been super stressful. But anyways, once I started university, like first year was already fully paid, and I was working from first year to like save up for second year. Because when I got the offer from the University of East London, I told my parents that I was gonna work, like try to raise the money. But obviously that was just a dream that I had, because I was like, I told them, oh, you don't have to worry, like I'll have the money, I'll work 20 hours, I'll work extra hours during the holidays, I'll have all of the money, like you won't have to worry about me at all. So long story short, anyway, first year was already paid. Once I got here in September, I was trying to get a job. It was very difficult. Like once you come here, it's not gonna be like super easy that you get a job. It will take a while. So don't feel sad if you don't get a job immediately. So I think I got a job in October with an hospitality agency. I was working as a waitress, going from place to place, and I was doing that. Like it was going well. From September to December, I had a place that I was paying like £90 a week for, and from the money I was getting from this agency working as a waitress, I was able to pay my rent, and then I was able to save up a little bit, but I wasn't able to save up a lot of money. I was earning roughly £200 a week, paying £90 a week for rent. I had £110 left, and I thought that okay, if we continue like this, there's no way I'll be able to save enough money for my second year tuition fees. So in December of 2018, I decided to move in with a friend, and luckily with this friend that I lived with, I lived there from December to April, and I only paid like £75 a month in rent, which was like super helpful. Like it was a good way for me to save money, because I knew that from like that £200 roughly that I was earning a week, I was only paying £75 a month in rent. So it wasn't even weekly, it was a month. Like I'm really grateful to her to have like allowed me to stay with her and her mom, which was like a very good opportunity. But obviously that may not be the case for you. And one thing I will also say before I continue is that if you're able to live with a relative, that could also be an option. But personally, I wouldn't recommend it, because one of my friends lived with a relative and it was not the nicest experience. You think that these people are your family members, and obviously you come to the UK, they should like be happy to like just have you in their house. But obviously everyone here is trying to also live their life and work like crazy to like support their own family members, and you will be coming as an extra burden that they probably don't want in their house. And obviously because your family, they may want to like pretend or act like they really want you there, but deep down they don't want you there. So but obviously if you have family members that you can stay with, it's something that you can also consider. But personally I wouldn't do that. But anyways, that is another way that you could also save up money. Right, so from December to April, I lived with a friend until I had to move out in April, because a lot of things happened. She had issues with her mom, the police were involved, she had to move out, and the police were like, who is this person? Like, why is she like why should I squatting on your couch? Like, because I was literally sleeping on their couch, and it was like, okay, well, I'm actually here because the police wanted out to be out of the house, and I was there, like I wasn't a tenant, I was just there like as a guest, and they wanted me out also basically. So from there in April, I didn't have a place to live. I was basically homeless, and luckily I was able to find a place like very quickly, because while I was working, my boss's sister like offered me a place to live, but obviously I was still paying rent. It wasn't for free, so I stayed there for like a month until I found a place of my own to rent. From December to April, I was only paying a little amount of money in rent, and then from April until like the next September, like once it was like June, July like this, I was back to like working full time, like working crazy hours, working like 60 hours. Like it was really stressful, but I knew I had to like work hard to save up money for my tuition fees. And then the thing at my uni also is that you can pay in installments. So I don't know about what uni you want to go to or what uni you've applied to, but one thing you should also check is that, okay, this uni that I want to go to, they allow me to pay in like 6 installments, 5 installments, 10 installments or whatever. Like what is the installment plan like? You should also check that, because at my university, the University of East London, you can pay in installments, and that means that at my university you pay in 5 installments, which allows you to split up your tuition fee payments in 5 payments. And that is really good, because I was able to pay from September to February. But because I couldn't pay all of the amounts in February also, I had to like ask for an extension. And so I think I finished paying like around May, which was really good. So that is one thing you should also check. And it was like super crazy. But even though I was working like a crazy person during the holidays, like I was saving up all of my 20 hours. Like I wasn't paying a lot of money in rent. And even when I had to move out of my friend's house, I was only paying like £300 a month for rent, which was also really good. The thing still remains that I was working like a crazy person, but at the end of the day, I was only able to save up 70% of the tuition fees that I had to pay. And I had like 2 friends from my university who even offered me some money, which also helped to like raise the which was also part of the 70% I was able to raise. And then the 30% was paid by my parents, which was like very helpful. And my point is that I couldn't even save up all of the full amounts by myself, even though I was working like a crazy person during the holidays. Like during the holidays, you can like work as many hours as you want, which is really good. But then you can only stretch yourself as much as possible. I'm not trying to discourage anybody with this video. I'm just trying to say that this was how I paid my tuition fees. Like 70% of my tuition fees was paid for by myself, from working part-time, from working full-time during the holidays, from some money and support that I got from my friends at university. And then the 30% of my tuition fees in second year was paid for by my parents. And then come to final year, like second year is done, we couldn't pay the full amount by the end of the instrumental plan. And then I asked for an extension, which was really good. And then it came to final year, obviously. When COVID happened, I was still working for a while. I was still trying to save money because I knew that tuition fees, like I would soon have to pay my tuition fees for final year. And the thing at my university is that the tuition fees also increase every year. But it doesn't increase by like a huge percentage. It increases by 5% or so every year. But obviously 5% increase is still something. I was living in a place before, one of my friends were sharing a room together. And we're sharing a room for like £400 each, which was like really bad because we're living in Stratford. And I mean, we had a nice place to ourselves, but we're still sharing a single room. But it was a very large room, but it was still a lot of money to share. Like, we're paying £400 each to share a room. Like, that is not smart. But at that time that we're trying to find a place, that was the only place we could find. And my friend and I lived together in Stratford, like in the shared room for like 4 months. And then lockdown happened. And I had to stay at my boyfriend's family's house for like 1 year, like literally. So like for 1 year I didn't pay any rent at all, which was also really helpful. I mean, you think I'm like getting freebies from everyone, but I think that's how I was able to save up money. Because for example, when I started university, I paid rent for 3 months, and then I lived with a friend for a few months, and I got a place that was quite cheap. And then when COVID happened, obviously I moved in with my boyfriend's family, which obviously is not the usual thing, like as a Nigerian. Like, it's not the thing that you want to do. Like, obviously we're not married, but I'm just saying that like at times there are things that you have to do because you don't have any other option. And I felt like at that point in time I needed to like just move out, because I mean, it was a good way to save money. I didn't even have a job because of lockdown, so it was like, okay, there's no job, there's no money coming in. I mean, I could have been there like working as a cleaner or something, but I would have been putting myself at risk of like catching COVID. But anyways, I lived with my boyfriend's family for about a year and a few months. I wasn't paying any rent. And when I eventually got a job, when things got a little bit better with COVID, the amount I was earning, I was still saving it. And luckily my parents offered to pay my tuition fees in my final year, and that was like a huge relief, because even though I was still like trying to work, save money to pay for my final year tuition fees, my parents still paid for my final year. So long story short, like first year tuition fees were fully paid for by my parents. Second year tuition fees, that I was like, oh yeah, like before I left Nigeria, I was like, oh, you won't have to worry, I'll work like a crazy person, I'll make all of this money, I'll pay for my rent, for my maintenance and everything. And yeah, like I cared for my maintenance, I paid for my rent. But even in second year, I was only able to pay 70% of my tuition fees, and that meant that I was working like a crazy person. And I was only able to pay 70% of it, and 30% of it was still paid for by my parents. But anyways, even though it was that way, all of my rent from like first year to final year up until now has still been paid for by myself. So I think when you come to the UK, you need to be realistic. Okay, if I'm working 20 hours a week, that means I will only be able to save up money to pay for my rent, ideally, because if you're talking about tuition fees, it will be very difficult. But obviously, if there was no COVID when I was going into my final year, I would have still been the one to pay my final year tuition fees, maybe like 70% of it still, because I would still have been working, like saving up money. But the point is that it is very stressful, it is very difficult. But obviously, I would still encourage anyone that wants to leave Nigeria or any part of the world or any part of Africa or any part of the world basically to come to the UK, because this is a good place to be. Like for me personally, I'm very grateful that I left Nigeria to come here, because I feel like my life would probably like plan out different if I stayed in Nigeria. But obviously no one knows, like we don't know what would have happened if I stayed in Nigeria, or if I mean we can't tell, we don't know, we only know things that are within our own knowledge basically. But the main point of this video is that I was able to pay for my rent, maintenance, transport, everything from working 20 hours a week. But my tuition fees were quite difficult to pay for with just working 20 hours and even working full-time during the holidays. But obviously that also depends on the kind of job you're doing, because if you come here and you're working, like if you already like got an undergrad degree and you're doing your masters, then it means that you probably get a better job. Obviously that is still no guarantee, because there's a lot of people that come here and they still like do menial jobs and they earn like £10 an hour. But if you're lucky, if you're one of those people that actually get a proper job that pays you like the wages you deserve with your skills and experience, and that would be really good. But that is not always guaranteed. But for me personally, I was just working like as a waitress, cleaner, toilet attendant, various sorts of all jobs I did. And oh my days, some days I'll be crying like, why did I do this to myself? Like, why did I leave Nigeria to come and like suffer here? Like, for example, when I was living in Nigeria, I had my own room to myself, I had an ensuite, like I had my parents' house to live in, like no one to stress me, no landlord issues, no tenant issues, no housemate issues. Like it was a good place to live. But obviously you can't always just stay in your parents' house. You need to like move out at some point to try to find your own path, and I think that's what I did to myself, and I'm really grateful that I did that. But main point is that if you want to come here to study, be very smart about it, be very strategic, be very realistic with yourself, because it's not always going to be super easy. You can work 20 hours, you can work full-time during the holidays, but it may still be difficult to save up enough money for your tuition fees, especially if you come in to do like an undergrad degree. Or if you're here to do a 1-year master's, or 1-year master's with a placement here, that means you're studying for 1 year and doing 1-year placement for the second year. That means and if you're lucky enough and you get a placement that is actually paid, that is going to make your life super easy, because you know that, okay, this is my second year of university, I'm working full-time whilst on my placement, and not like restricted to 20 hours of work, and that is like super good. So but obviously if you're here to do an undergrad degree and you only restricted to 20 hours of work a week, and then during the same time and then full-time during the holidays, it may not be the easiest thing for you. But that is still to say that don't be discouraged. Like if you not come here, just try as much as possible, save up the maintenance amount, save up the first year tuition fees, and hopefully have a plan of how you're going to pay the rest of your tuition fees, whether you're going to work 20 hours full-time in holidays, and then you have support from your friends, and then you have support from your family members, because without family members support, it may be quite difficult. So as much as you can work 20 hours, also make sure that you have support from your parents, because that will be very crucial to your success. But definitely if you want to come to the UK to study, like this is a good place to come to. I feel like this is a place where you can actually like realize your potentials. I'm not saying that you wouldn't realize your potentials if you stay in your country, but I feel like for me personally, it has worked well for me. And I don't know about you, but this has really worked well. It was very difficult, like it was super difficult. On some days, like I said, I would cry. I'll be like, I want to go back home or whatever. Like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I decide to leave Nigeria? And then the thing is that when you come here, people think that, oh, this person has japa, and this person has left Nigeria, like their life is now better. But that is a lie, because once you come here, you're struggling, you're working like a crazy person, you're trying to make ends meet. But people don't see that. People see you on Instagram and you post like a nice picture of yourself, like enjoying life. But deep down, you know that you're just trying to make it look like you're actually having fun. But true to yourself, you know that that's not the case. But that is a story for another day. But thank you for watching today's video. I hope you gained some useful things from what I said about how I paid my tuition fees. It wasn't the easiest, but it's done now. It's over. Like if I didn't make that first step to apply to university in the UK, maybe I will still be in Nigeria and I'm trying to finish my degree. But I'm really glad I took that first step. So I think one thing first is to take that first step to apply. Have a plan about how you're going to pay your tuition fees, and be realistic with yourself. Don't just come here with the plan that, oh, I'm not going to have any parental support, I'm going to do it all by myself. Especially if you're going to be doing an undergraduate degree. If it's a master's for a year, or a year with a placement, or 2 years, I think that is still manageable. But then when it's coming to 3 years and you want to do that by yourself, all by yourself alone, it may be quite difficult. And obviously, again, last point, check the instrumental plan at your university. And lastly, check the instrumental plan at your university. check that it works for you. And that'll be the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.